So the other side asked me to make this video explaining why I, Christine Pavlina, charge for my gift. Now, I can't speak for all intuitives because everybody's situation is completely individual, and it really depends on how you're guided by the other side to charge, not charge, and how you kind of maneuver that whole situation. So I can't speak for all intuitives. And when I first started, I didn't charge. I actually did 500 free readings and just kept pulling people off of Reddit and reading for them and reading for them and reading for them and their friends. I really enjoyed it because it was no pressure. I'm like, hey, it's free, whatever. And it was actually easier not to charge people. They responded differently, obviously, because psychics are known as charlatans. So people's walls were down. They were grateful. They appreciated it. I got lots of compliments like, oh, you're so sweet for doing this for me. It was basically like handing out favors. It wasn't doing it professionally. It was just handing out favors. So I enjoyed it. It was, I don't know, easy. So when the other side approached me and told me that it was time to start charging, I actually wasn't really that happy about it because all of a sudden I had become a professional and things just got serious and things just got real. So one of the reasons why they asked me to do this is they said, number one, what you're doing is an energetic exchange. These people are paying you for your time. So they were saying that this is kind of like a energetic balancing, if you will, where they give you money, you give them your time and your effort. And so they're comparing us to therapists, counselors, and saying that we do sessions just like they do. And we are professionals and our time is worth something. So that's why my spirit guides are saying, like, we have Christine charge, because intuitive counselors are just as worthy of booking sessions and having people pay them for their time as other counselors are. They're also saying that it's not effortless. They're saying that we actually have to work. We really have to focus our minds. And before each reading I meditate and I do pre-tunes on people's photos before each reading. So it's not just the time I spend with you on the phone. I actually prepared for your reading before I get on the phone with you. So our sessions technically aren't just 15, 30, or 60 minutes. It's actually a lot longer than that. Another thing they're saying is that we're professionals that have to invest in our business. Our training, beginning mediumship, intermediate mediumship, advanced mediumship, whatever classes I have to take, it costs me thousands, just so you know, to train in this field and to develop my third eye and my intuition. So also they're having me train, sorry, I think I'm just channeling this whole thing. Also, they're having me train for Reiki, which is an energetic healing process. So the Reiki classes that I'm taking is going to be another $1,000 and then 4 different classes. So that's more time spent. So you see how we as professionals have really taken the time to develop our intuition and make it what it is, as opposed to a gift that's just handed to us. So I do understand people's perception is just like, oh, this gift was just handed to you, it's effortless. It doesn't take any real focusing on your part. It really does. It actually does. And so another thing, and again, this is where we start kind of getting into the Christine specific thing, is the other side said no side job, period, end of story. I had a career in marketing and they made me quit all of my corporate clients and pursue mediumship instead. They literally forced me to quit my career and my job, which I had had for about 21 years. So that was a huge deal for me. And I have to be honest with you, I was very jealous of my intuitive friends because my intuitive friends were able to keep their job on the side. At least the people I know. I don't know a single person who was forced to quit, except for me. They said that they had to pull me out of that career in order to get me in the vibrational energetic state that they needed me to be for them. So they said we got to burn down the old bridge in order to build a stronger one in its place. So they're kind of apologizing for that because they knew how traumatic that was for me to just knock down my sandcastle with one flick of the wrist. But they're also saying that it was something that had to happen for me. So they're not, they also don't want any split focus. They said that my mind is very powerful. I am a version of the law of attraction on crack. So what I think about manifests. And so they needed no split focus. They didn't want a focus on this job and then also being a medium on the side. They said, we want you to focus on one thing and one thing only because your mind is so powerful. That's what we want you to do. I did freak out and try to get a side job. I actually tried to get a job about 4 different times and each one was thwarted. And I remember crying and walking down to the Manhattan Beach Pier and just sitting there crying and saying, you're not gonna let me get a side job, are you? They said, nope. And so luckily that was a year ago. So luckily they brought enough money onto my path to support me and allay my fears, but it was a pretty pivotal moment when I was crying on the pier. It's just like, okay. So they made it very clear that they are my only boss and they're asking me to have more audacious openness with them and make more audacious claims for them because they have spent a lot of time beating my ego out of me. So they're very, very clear that they don't want me to answer to anybody but them. And I know that sounds very controlling, but there is a method to their madness. So they said, we are your only boss. We are the only people you take orders from. So I guess I'm on the golden paycheck plan. Okay, and then number 3, they said it's all about expanding my reach. They need me doing this full time. They don't want me to get a side job to where I'm tired and then maybe at the end of the day I don't feel like doing readings or I start getting distracted. They're showing me a vacuum cleaner where if I had gotten a side job, it would have been too easy to gravitate towards that because it's not as daring, if you will. Speaking this truth every day is harder. It's more challenging to my soul. So they said if you got a side job, you would have started kind of veering off a little bit. And so this was their way of keeping me on track and doing this full time. And another reason they wanted me to expand my reach is because they wanted me to help as many people as I can. That's another thing. We need you to reach far and wide. So that's another thing. That's another reason they wanted me charging people is because full time, you have a mortgage to pay, you got bills to pay. We want you doing this full time. We don't want you doing this part time. You know, your time, we want it spent doing readings, making YouTube videos like this, period. They can be pretty tough when they want to. Okay, so expand reach. Number 4, they said we're gonna have you do free stuff on the side, okay? So this is where the kindness of my heart comes in and just doing favors for people. So I do have a field on my website that says, hey, enter your email address here for a chance to win a free reading. So I have a list that I pull from. And so every time I have like slots to fill or whatever, I will pull free readings from that list of people. So it's kind of something that people get awarded and they win for free from me. It's kind of like a little contest I have going on. And then also as far as doing free stuff, also my YouTube videos, I have over 60 to date. So those are my instructional videos that I take the time and effort to make. 'Cause I think it's important to get the word out and educate people about, you know, psychic abilities and self-love and self-esteem and the other side, all that good stuff, so that people aren't so afraid of it. Okay, and then number 5, this is another thing they have me do, is reading exceptions, where normally I charge, right? But if I come across somebody online or in person, the other side will come through and say, Christine, give her a freebie. She's 15. She genuinely has zero money. And so I'm like, okay. So I let the other side guide me. So if I offer you a free session, it's usually because my spirit guides have come through and said, give it to them for free. Not everybody is able to pay. And so they will tell me if that person genuinely isn't able to pay. I have been taken advantage of a lot. What I do is very heart focused. So, and I have a lot of empathy for people because I am an empath. So I have been taking advantage quite a bit where people will be like, I don't have any money, I don't have any money, I don't have any money. And then I'll see them turn around and spend $100 on a bar tab somewhere. So that's really hard for me where I'm just like, all right, you know what? You just don't really value what I do or what I bring to the table. You just want to allot money somewhere else. So in that case, that's where the other side advises me on when to charge and when not to charge. One of the reasons why they monitor one of the reasons why they monitor my charging versus not charging so closely. This is kind of funny actually, because it took me a while to pick up on this. The law of attraction. When I do one free session, I get about 10 people approaching me. It's just like energetically, people are all very psychic and the collective consciousness kicks in. Or if I do one free session, I swear 10 more will show up. So that's where I am the law of attraction on crack, like I said. So more people will show up wanting free sessions. They'll be like, ah. So that's where they monitor and try and keep the energy under control for the locusts swarming. Now, another thing, the other side is big on keeping prices reasonable where people can't afford me. I talk pretty fast. So 15 minutes on the phone is really all I need with people, and it's $49, and you get a lot of information out of it, and it's recorded. So I think it's pretty good energetic exchange right there. I think it's good value. So I do keep my prices pretty reasonable. That's another thing. And then another thing that I don't think people realize, which is actually kind of amusing, is that we as intuitives pay each other. That's right. If my intuitive friend, Sally, is sitting there cooking dinner while changing, her baby's diaper or whatever, and I'm like, hey, can you just tell me whether blah, 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 blah? Because if we are emotionally invested in an answer, it's hard for us to get a clean read on information for ourselves. The answer will keep flip-flopping because we care too much. So a lot of times we'll check in with our intuitive friends over like text or message, and it'll just be like this quick piece of information we give each other. And if that's not good enough, like suppose, one of us just met somebody new, and we're really interested in them. We might need one of our intuitive friends to sit down and do a read on that person's photo for us. Hey, what's the deal? So if we really need each other to sit down and focus on something, instead of doing it like, off the cuff, we will pay each other for sessions. As a matter of fact, I just did that recently, just to have somebody confirm some stuff for me. So yeah, we will pay each other out of respect for their time and effort to actually sit down and focus on that photo. So that's pretty much all the other side wanted me to share with you. Again, this is, a lot of Christine specifics. But, I do try to, answer people's questions on my YouTube channel and, answer questions on Reddit depending on my mood and, kind of where I'm at. So I definitely try to share my gift with people. But ultimately, yes, the other side does want me charging for sessions because they want me to support myself with my gift so that I can do it full-time and not get a part-time job. So for all you closeted intuitives out there, I know that we are kind of trying to blast away the stereotype of the charlatan, and I know that we very much have that working against us is, the people that make us look bad and the ones that really are fakers and really are just interested in money. But I, Christine Pavlina, can only speak for myself. For me, this is heart-focused work. So it's all a balance between, reading exceptions, free stuff on the side, and then charging for my sessions. So I hope you found this video informative. And in the meantime, take care and be well. Thank you.